Hello everyone, welcome back in. Hope all is well. Hope you're having a festive Christmas and Advent season. If you're like me, everything's busy heading up to that time. But then this fifth shave of Christmas, what shaving gave to me, the Chieftain from Through the Fire Fine Craft. Say that 5 times fast. The Chieftain is a campfire smell, sweet, smoky campfire. The reason I selected it as something that makes me think of Christmas, as a child we had a wood burning fireplace. Definitely around Christmas time we would build fires in the fireplace, and I remember as a boy just being mesmerized by watching the the coals glowing and hearing the crackle of the fire and smelling that smoke. And so to this day I associate that smell of wood smoke with those good memories of Christmas as a kid. That's why we're doing a wood smoke smell for the shave tonight. The brush tonight, we're using an Omega Blue S100, we got the number right here, 65, S10065. Very inexpensive brush. This is my strong smelling soaps brush, particularly ones that may be a little bit more pungent, like the Midnight Stag from Chiseled Face, which I love, but I don't want all my brushes always smelling like chiseled, like Midnight Stag. Something like Texas on Fire or the Chieftain, that's a much smokier. I tend to bring out this brush for that. I warmed up a little water for the shave tonight. I've got here in the kettle. So you guys see it. Just going to pour that into the sink here. Okay, for the razor tonight, we're going to be using the DLC Yaqi razor head, so open comb, double open comb design. This is in the gunmetal finish, and I think I gave something like $5 for this from AliExpress. If you've never ordered anything from AliExpress or some of the other Chinese retailers, you can get some really cheap merchandise. The only trade-off is that you usually have to wait quite a long time for it to be shipped. I'm probably familiar with the Yaqi brushes. And then we have a blue Maggard's handle. I think this is like the MR11 or the MR1, I'm not for sure. I'll put it in the description. But I'm not even sure if they still have these blue anodized ones at Maggard's. Well, we're actually using a handle that didn't obviously come with the razor. This, I just bought the head, so it's kind of made into a 3-piece razor this way. Quite a bit of overhang here, the blade on the outside. One of the things I love about the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Ascension Twist Double Open Comb Copper Razor, and on all their double open comb designs at Phoenix, there's no overhang. I know a lot of people don't concern themselves with overhang, and I actually tend not to catch myself with the overhang, but what I don't like about it is if I go to set it on my counter, it can tend to scratch up the counter a little bit if it's catching the edge there. But anyway, just be aware of that on this Yaqi. There's quite a bit of overhang. And what we put in there was a Persona Red Platinum blade. Okay, so I've pressed out some of the soap into the Captain's Choice copper shave bowl, so we'll get into that. But we are going to first use a pre-shave. I don't often use pre-shaves, but my favorite pre-shave to use are the ones from Parasso. I like those quite a bit. My favorite one is the sandalwood one, and I thought that sort of goes well with our theme tonight. And it is, like I said, my favorite one. I'm getting low. It's time to order some more of that Santa Claus. So let's rub this in here. Now this can be, I know people use this and it even says that on here as a post shave. I've never done that. In fact, I don't think I've even watched a video where anybody's done that, but I know I've heard people talk about it and seen it in some of the forums, but I've never done it myself. So we're doing a bowl lather tonight. I want to get to obviously build the face lather as much, so I'm kind of taking an opportunity to get the whiskers softened and lifted a little bit. Do a little bit of a face massage. Okay, so I've got a hot towel here that I dipped in the water. And dip it again, just kind of get it a little hot again. here with the towel. That feels amazing. So that's how I like to do my pre-shaves, is I'll put it on and then let it sit under the hot towel for a while. I've dipped the Omega Blue S brush, and we'll go in here into the Captain's Choice bowl and start building the lather. These copper bowls from Captain's Choice are really heirloom quality. I mean, they seem almost indestructible, and the copper on it looks great. I really like this. Oh yeah. I know that Through the Fire Fine Craft makes some of Maggard's shave products. I think one of the first aftershave splashes I got was the Maggard's London Barbershop, and I'm pretty sure that Through the Fire Fine Craft made that for them. Yeah, we're getting quite a bit of, well, in fact, I'm going to get a little water in here. Okay, yeah. This is sort of ridiculous. And there's so much still in here. So here's what we got. There's tons in here. Let's get in here with the face. We'll try to lock in the aperture and focus. Try to limit the changes in exposure. Notice there's a lot of change in exposure, and I know how to fix that on a DSLR, but I had no idea how to lock it in on the phone. In fact, I didn't know that you could. I thought there might be another app I needed to download to do the videos in that app and then lock it in another app. But on the iPhone, if you do a force touch press, you know, a longer press on your subject where you want it to focus and where you want the exposure fixed, it will lock it in for you so that you don't have that constant change in lighting, which I noticed my videos were having. But as a result, I have to kind of stay back here when I shave. You can see how much volume we're getting in this. This lather, this is great. This is great stuff. I love the smell of this. This is not overly smoky. I get a little amber and vanilla in there as well. On their website, they don't have any specific notes mentioned. They just say a sweet, smoky fragrance. So the Yaqi double open comb, first time using it. Gunmetal with the gunmetal finish with the Persona Red blade. I'm always nervous using a razor for the first time. I'm going to try not to buff tonight and just do long strokes. It's hard for me not to buff when I can hear audio feedback. To adjust the angle a little bit with this razor, because I notice it's not taking all the lather off on one pass. There we go. A little bit of a steeper angle than what I normally use. All right, just getting here under the nose. Even though I have a goatee, I try to shave just right under the nose, kind of disconnect the nose from the mustache a little bit. Okay, just kind of rub this in so we can kind of see the goatee a little better, so we don't cut into it. I didn't mention this to you when I showed you, but the Through the Fire Fine Craft Chieftain soap it's kind of got almost a yellow color. It's really a tan, I guess you'd call it like a British khaki color. I'm not for sure what gives it that color specifically, but you can kind of see it as I rubbed it into my goatee. Second pass, go back into our shave bowl. There's plenty of lather on this brush, but I'm just kind of getting what's in the bowl as well. Super creamy. Yeah, I really like this scent. I think the samples I had from Through the Fire Fine Craft I ordered through Maggard's, and their samples are very generous size. I might have ordered them straight from them, but I think I got them from Maggard's, and they're pretty large. If I had one close at hand, I'd show you. I'll roll one into the video here, show you the size of them. Regular size tub. This is their sample. You can see it's pretty substantial. It's quite a bit in there. This is like a Stirling size sample, and that's PAA's traditional size sample. Here's just your standard pot sizes. There are a variety of different formats. It's a Soap Commander sample. It's really thin, but that's a Murphy and McNeil sample. This is from Salisky Soaps. Their sample size, that's pretty substantial as well. And a lot of artisans will sell like little half sizes, like this Uncle John's, soap, shave soap with pipe smoke. It's a little smaller. This is not a full size Katie Bubbles. This is like a little half size almost, and so you can get it cheaper. And then, if you just look like the standard Haslinger size book, is pretty small. So for a sample size, what you get from Through the Fire Fine Craft is pretty substantial. And these little pots, if I can just try to two-hand those here, are pretty full. Like it's quite a bit of soap in there. So yeah. On occasion, when I do press out soap on the bottom of a bowl, if it's a softer soap, which this is, you kind of get some clumps of the soap in your lather. Ooh, throwing lather everywhere. Imagine that, me throwing lather everywhere. All right. I'm going to go across the grain. Talking about wood fires and fireplaces. My dad, when I was born, worked at a Ford Motor Company die-cast plant. They made pistons. And the plant closed a few years after I was born, and my dad had a choice of moving to Michigan or Ohio, I think it was, or he could take like I think it's called severance pay. And he didn't want to leave the area we lived in, so he did that. And one of the ways he earned a living was by cutting firewood. Selling firewood, or as we would say in Alabama, hauling firewood. And I helped him do that quite a bit. And he, his father, my grandfather, actually ran a sawmill. So my dad grew up becoming familiar with all different types of wood and trees. And so, for example, like ash, I know it's real lightweight because I'd love it when we'd cut an ash tree, because loading the wagon with firewood wasn't quite as taxing as, say, some harder woods. So my dad taught me how to walk through the woods and be able to identify different types of hickories and elms and the pines and poplar trees, ash, so the wood smell of wood smoke does make me think of Christmas time, but specifically my dad bringing in firewood and starting a fire in our wood burning fireplace, going against the grain. But it also makes me think of my dad in general, because those are fond memories. It was hard work, but let's be honest, my dad was the one cutting down the trees and he was helping me load, so it wasn't that hard of work. But a young man, boy, enjoys being in the woods with his dad, doing something productive. Or my dad also used to take me hunting. We'd go squirrel hunting. Okay, on this fourth pass, I got a lot on the brush. I quite often, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna squeeze out what we got left there and try to get that big chunk out of there. So we'll take this and just work it in with the hands. We can feel where we might have missed some spots. Several years ago, we started a tradition at my dad's and stepmom's house. We have in October we'll have something we call Pumpkin Day, where we get pumpkins and decorate them for Halloween. My dad will frequently build a campfire out in his yard. He lives out in the woods. He often cook a pot of chili in a cast iron Dutch oven over that campfire. And we'll cook hot dogs over the fire and roast marshmallows, make s'mores. It's a fun fall day. And so that wood smoke smell of that campfire as well makes me think of my dad. And my dad loves to barbecue. His thing to grill for us, when my wife and my daughter and I and my sister and her daughter go out there on Christmas night, is he cooks steaks, and he cooks really good steaks. But he cooks them on a charcoal grill, but he puts chips from hickory in there, hickory wood chips, and it gives those steaks an amazing flavor. All right, so this is also across the grain, but in the opposite direction. We did this direction from outside in. I do my pickups from inside out, primarily because of that area right there that you can kind of hear a little bit on the feedback. I'll hit it over here so you can hear it. That part of my neck is where I have a lot of swirls. And so the hair grows in all types of different directions through there. It's been a smooth shave. Took me a few strokes to figure out the angle for this one. A little different than a lot of the razors I use. All right. Let's just check once more here and see how we're doing. Feel a little spot right through here. That's also where I've been getting a lot of irritation. I feel a little bit right there. All right, let's call that done. Let's not chase that BBS anymore. I'll get this rinsed off and come back and we'll finish up with the post shave. All right, so we're gonna start with the Texas on Fire from Stirling, and this has got notes, it's actually got essential oils of, gotta put my eyes on, birch tar, cade, labdanum, vanilla, and Texas cedar wood. And Rod and Mandy like to describe this as the scent of a forest fire in Texas. I love this scent. Oh, I particularly love the way it smells in this aloe and witch hazel splash. I don't know if there's something about the combination of all that. I don't want to waste too much. I've actually got a second bottle of this stuff. That's how much I like it. You're probably not. I know you're not going to be able to see this, but it comes out kind of a brown tan color. It looks real creamy. In other words, not creamy in texture, but just it's like the color of milk, but darker. I just love this stuff. Okay. Now, I could have used Through the Fire Fine Craft Chieftain alcohol splash after that, but to kind of sweeten things up tonight and to fit this in, because I think it's a good Christmas time scent, we're going to get in Stirling's Vanilla Sandalwood splash in one of their sample sizes. I've had this quite a while, never had occasion to use it. Oh wow, that's great. If I read the Stirling Soap Company website right on this one, is that scent went away for a while, but it came back because of popular demand. We're not going to use a balm tonight, but what we will do is, and I can kind of use this as a balm for the shave. There's a company called Catholic Balm, and this is one of those, the one that they make called Chrism, and so it smells like anointing oil in churches and Eastern Orthodox churches, Anglican, Episcopalian, Methodist, Catholic, and some other denominations use this. And so this has got that scent of balsam and myrrh, and so this being Christmas season and Advent. Now, they also have one called Holy Smokes, which would be fitting here for this smoky shave, but I actually often carry it with me to work and kind of refresh it during the day, and I've currently misplaced it, but it's almost empty. I need to order another one of those. I really like that scent. This is an amazing amazing fragrance. Let me read what it says on their website real quick. So the balsam and myrrh and rose, and it says 50 plus other scents in this. So this would be the smell of what they use when they use oil to anoint someone when they're being baptized. In some Christian faith traditions they do. So they use olive oil mixed with myrrh and balsam. This, I get several scents. I'm getting citrus. I'm getting that myrrh and that balsam. It's just a beautiful, beautiful scent. In fact, I'm kind of surprised nobody has made a shave soap in like a Chrism scent. They do this, I think, also in like a beard oil and maybe even like a lip balm. If I'm not mistaken, I know they make lip balms. But I get enough on my hands where I can sort of use it as a post-shave balm as well. And I usually run a little bit in the hair there to spike in the middle to try to fight that receding hairline and widow's peak. All right, who am I kidding? Okay, so let's finish up with some Texas on Fire EDT from Stirling. I was really tempted to buy a whole bottle of this, but I wanted to make sure I liked the EDT sample, which I know I'm going to. Now this might not be one you want to wear to work, you know, if you're in an office setting. And I'm shaving on Saturday night instead of Sunday mornings. I might not have used it Sunday morning. I've shaved last Sunday morning instead of Saturday night, but I might not put that on right before church because it's a really strong scent. And it's not necessarily going to be a crowd pleaser. There's probably going to be certain people that like it, certain people that don't. It's probably going to be polarizing. But I really like it. There's a creaminess to it. It's just wonderful. All right, to review, we did the Chieftain from Through the Fire Fine Craft. We followed that up with Texas on Fire Aloe and Witch Hazel. And we did a little Vanilla Sandalwood from Stirling. And we did dropped it. And we did the Chrism beard balm from Catholic Balm Company, and the Texas on Fire EDT sample from Stirling. And we used the Yaqi double open comb in gunmetal finish. Probably looks a little more chrome there, but it's gunmetal finish, and it did well. I just had to find the angle on that, and we used the Persona red blade in there. And we used, gotta wash this out, we used the Omega S brush, Blue S brush from Omega, synthetic brush. And the Captain's Choice, where's that logo at? There it is. Captain's Choice shave bow, copper shave bow. All right, so thanks for joining me for this shave of Christmas, this 5th shave of Christmas. And on the 5th shave of Christmas, what shaving gave to me, the Chieftain from Through the Fire Fine Craft. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.